Today we're going to talk about something called the O.S.D.T. That stands for the Open Source Drone Terminator. And it's this really simple, almost low-tech answer to a very, very complicated and dangerous modern problem. So, what exactly is that problem? Well, this question really cuts right to the chase. I mean, think about it. How do you possibly win a fight where every single time you defend yourself successfully, it costs you hundreds, maybe thousands of times more than it costs your enemy to attack you? It's a question that's as much about economics as it is about survival. So this all boils down to what military folks call an asymmetric threat. We're talking about the explosion of cheap, mass-produced suicide drones that are packed with explosives. And these things have turned out to be incredibly deadly, not just for soldiers, but for civilian cities and towns too. And right here, you can see just how crazy this imbalance is. On one side, you have attackers using drones that are, relatively cheap to make. On the other side, the defenders are forced to use these unbelievably sophisticated and expensive anti-missile systems to take them down. This cost difference is just astronomical, and it's a strategy designed to bleed a defender dry financially. So you're stuck, right? It's a total lose-lose situation. You either let the drone get through and risk people's lives and critical infrastructure, or you fire off a multi-million-dollar interceptor, draining your bank account just to stop one cheap threat. You're losing, no matter what you choose. And this is the exact puzzle that the O.S.D.T concept was created to solve. To solve this, the O.S.D.T's creator didn't look to more lasers or fancier guidance systems. Nope, they looked back to a classic, brilliantly simple idea. The whole philosophy is this. Instead of trying to be more precise, the idea is to be completely overwhelming. You gotta think like a shotgun, not a sniper rifle. And this whole bird hunting thing, it's the perfect way to get it. Trying to hit a small, zippy little drone in the sky is just like trying to shoot a bird on the wing with a single-shot rifle. I mean, good luck, right? The chances of hitting it are tiny. But a hunter uses a shotgun. It doesn't fire one perfect bullet. It sprays a whole cloud of little pellets, creating this wide pattern that makes hitting the target almost inevitable. It's not about being a perfect marksman. It's about playing the odds. So this really breaks down the two mindsets, right? The rifle approach, that's our current high-tech model. One super expensive missile, one chance to hit, and it needs incredible precision. The shotgun approach, the philosophy behind the O.S.D.T, is the complete opposite. It uses tons of cheap projectiles to just saturate an area of the sky. Precision doesn't matter anymore. It's about creating a wall of metal that the drone just can't fly through. Okay, so that's the philosophy. But what does it actually look like? How do you build one of these things? Well, the O.S.D.T concept actually lays out two different blueprints, both built on that same shotgun principle. Let's check out the first one. First up, we've got the Static Volley System. And yeah, the name pretty much says it all. It's about one massive, simultaneous blast of everything you've got. And when I say massive, I'm not kidding. The baseline design calls for a minimum of 18 machine guns. 18. We're talking about brute force saturation here, a literal wall of fire designed to just fill a chunk of the sky with lead. But the design itself? It's brilliantly simple. It's basically a big frame about 3 meters wide, with at least 3 rows of guns. And the real genius is that it's made to use old, common, low-cost machine guns, things like AK-47s or M60s that might just be sitting in storage. They all fire at once, and the whole rig is mounted on a base that you can aim at whatever's coming. All right, so that's the big brute force option. The second proposal is a little different. It's more compact, maybe a little more elegant. This is the Rotary Spreader System. Now, this version uses just 6 machine guns, but they're mounted on a boom that spins. As it rotates and fires, it projects this beautiful circular pattern of bullets into the sky. The designer calls it a rose. And they have this clever trick where they tilt the guns out just a tiny bit, like 1 or 2 degrees, which makes the pattern spread out wider the farther it travels. And get this, the central axis is hollow, so you can stick a camera or a scope right in the middle for precise remote aiming. Pretty smart. So there you have it, two distinct approaches. You've got the static volley, which is bigger, uses more guns, and creates that static wall of fire. Then you have the rotary spreader, which is more compact, uses fewer weapons, and makes that dynamic spinning rose. Both are just different paths to the same goal: low-cost area saturation. So what's the bottom line here? Why is this simple, almost crude-looking concept so compelling? Well, it all comes down to a few core advantages that make it a truly revolutionary idea for defensive warfare.
I mean, just look at these points. It's simple enough that it can be built in the field, maybe even from salvaged parts. It's resourceful, giving a new purpose to old weapons. But the most important thing? It completely flips that economic imbalance, making defense affordable again. And crucially, it's designed to be purely defensive and to protect civilian lives.
And the creator is very, very clear on this. This isn't a tool for aggression. Because of its design, it's a shield, not a sword. It is completely useless for offensive attacks, which is just a powerful statement of its intent. And ultimately, this is what it's all about. Beyond the clever engineering and the smart tactics, the motivation is deeply human. It's a powerful final thought, the idea that simple, open-source ingenuity can democratize defense, empowering people not just to win battles, but to save lives.